Anyway, so here's a question. Kris,
yes.
As we talked, prior to Empower, have you done a lot of network marketing before?
No.
How many times have you tried network marketing?
I've probably been in about 4 companies from the time I was 18 to the time I was 30. You know, recruited a few of my family and friends, and then quit.
What's the biggest team you ever built?
Around 20.
1,000?
No, just 20. I got a big family, you know.
So
they love me.
With those 20, you've made massive income before this, right?
I mean, no.
Because we all understand how it works. And so I said, okay, so you didn't come with a lot of networking expertise, but you also don't have an extraordinarily long and historical background in online marketing.
I didn't have a Facebook account a year ago.
Okay.
So no experience.
And so you, in fact, if you shared just briefly, you said that before Empower, you had started to take a look at and maybe think about doing something online only about 4 months before Empower began. What was your situation when you began to think about that?
Well, I mean, I was a broke, unemployed construction worker, as a lot of you guys know. Me and my wife and 3 kids were surviving on a fixed income from unemployment of $600 a month. And, you know, we had expenses that were much higher than that. So we were slowly but surely going in the hole every month. And, you know, I was looking for a way to escape my current economy. I live near Detroit. It's kind of bad there. And I thought, you know, the internet, right? Find some place to tap into the global market. And I didn't mean to. It was kind of like an accident almost. I got involved in a network marketing company through a guy that I met on the internet.
In fact, he told me outside, I really didn't even want to do it.
I didn't. I really didn't. I actually fought it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this again. Because like years ago, there was probably a space of five years where I didn't do any sort of network marketing. I kind of swore it off, like I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a construction worker and do a contract. You know, I had contracting business.
So let's do a timeline so that everybody here is crystal clear. Today, Empower's about 7 months old. We go back 7 months, but before that, 4 months. So we're less than a year. 11 months ago,
right?
You didn't have a Facebook account. You'd never been online. You'd never had more than 20 people. You'd never made money, and you'd sworn off network marketing.
Yes.
And you finally decided, okay, maybe I need to do something online, but you're on a fixed income of $600 a month.
Right.
And what did you see online, or what happened that made you say, okay?
Yeah, well, the guy that I found on Google that I joined this deal with, a little scheme, you know.
So you found him because of his online marketing. And so he obviously thought that you probably ought to do what you should do.
No, actually, I got him on the phone. I just gave it to you like that.
So he was doing it because he think it was something you should do. Why?
Well, I just really big learning curve.
So it wasn't that he was fearful you were going to take all the folks, he just realized that if you've never done it, it's going to be too hard, and how proud he was. Well, so then you shared with me something really interesting. So how did you said I'm going to do it, so what happened to get you into the online marketing?
Well, he actually recommended the work. Online marketing, and like the next week, the next week they started sending out emails about this event that was going on, and
it wasn't a live event; it was an online live event.
Right. Well, it was a live event, but you could live stream it, unlike this one.
Sure.
So I bought the live stream, right?
Yeah.
And I sat in my room, in my little office with my computer, for a few days and watched all these people get on stage and try to sell me something, basically.
So you still haven't been making money yet, but you're just realizing you're going to work, and you're watching people online, and who did you see?
Well, the last speaker was Dave Wood, and you know. Have you seen Dave Wood speak? Okay, you know, it's kind of funny. I'd never been to any live events. Everyone else before him was like all wearing this like suit and tie and pinstripes and all this stuff, and you know, professional speaking and you know this stuff, selling stuff. And Dave just got up and rambled for like an hour about nothing. And was talking stories. He's wearing the exact same thing he's wearing now, probably. You know, and I just thought, look at this scraggly haired dude. I just thought, if this guy is really making that much money, I'm going to be rich on it.
You are an inspiration in ways you don't imagine.
He was an inspiration for sure, you know.
So what happened? So you ended up getting a course?
Well, yeah.
In fact, what was the story? Because I understand that was a bit of a stretch.
Yes. Well, after I seen Dave and I heard his story and go on forever about the stuff, and I decided, you know, if this weird dude can make that kind of money online, I'm going to figure out what he's doing and do it. So I immediately ran to his website and found a little form to put my email in, you know, and I got on the list. So the week right after that, he went on a trip. I think he went to Bora Bora or something like that. He started sending out these emails about this course he's going to be putting together and doing to teach everything he does to make money. I just thought, that's what I'm looking for, right? I want this guy. This is the guy I want to learn from. I want him to figure out what he's doing. He's going to tell me, right? So I didn't have the money to buy the course. Like I said, we were living on $600 a month, and you know, as soon as we got that, it was gone.
How much was the course?
$500.
So you had to make a decision to take almost everything.
My monthly income, yeah, and buy the course. And
so you had nobody really holding your hand. You just grabbed the course, and then you just, like Rob said, you kind of opened the book, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much did you make the first month?
Over $4,000.
Wow. As you said, at that time you had to kind of go through a little bit of effort to do a couple of things.
Yeah.
The course.
Yeah, I didn't do everything he taught in the course. This is a little bit, you know. It was kind of complicated, convoluted. It was doing all the stuff that Dave Wood did before in Power, and it was just like, you know, it was a lot of stuff. It was kind of. I still haven't done it all, but anyways, I did a little bit of it. Yeah, I made.
But here's the thing you said on stage the other day that first grabbed me. So your first 4 months, I mean, you made some money the first month, but you're trying to build a list, right?
Yep.
And we've got some impressive list folks up here, but at the end of 4 months, you had about 200 people on the list.
200, I got. My first 2 months of trying to do what Dave was teaching and I was doing, I made money. I forgot something on the website that he was showing me how to build, right? I was looking at my post one day, and I seen there's all these likes and shares and comments and whatever, and I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have a capture page, and I don't have a form on the side of this thing. So for two out of those 4 months, I was creating content, getting traffic to myself, and people were buying stuff. It was amazing. But I didn't have a form on my website to collect leads. So
for 2 months, you took their money and had no idea the word goodbye, see you later.
Yeah.
So it shows you anybody do it. So at the end of 4 months, here's what caught my attention. You had 4 months, 200 people, and that's it. But then Empower began.
Yes.
And what then caught my attention at dinner last night, I said, so how big is your list now?
Right, it's over 17,000.
So, in 7 months, so we can pretty much take the first 4 months when it wasn't Empower, you can pretty much go, well, I learned a little, but I forgot to even get people's names, so 200, throw that out. But in the last 7 months, I'm up to 17,000 names and growing.
Right.
And then I asked the question, thinking, well, because, like I said, I haven't seen all this stuff yet, I haven't dug in yet, and I said, well, okay, now that's pretty amazing, and knew nothing. There has to be something other than, some of these folks have been doing stuff for 10, 12 years, so before Empower, they had to do something. You probably figured something out. So what is the technique that you found is the most successful? What is the thing you do that has helped you create that list most successfully? And your answer was?
Well, I used the strategies I learned in the 15K formula to drive traffic to the Empower Network capture pages.
And I said, And?
That was it.
He said, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
He said, because
It's all done through Empower.
Because what you shared was the stuff that Dave had in his first course, but you still had to do it all yourself.
Right.
You know, obviously Dave, nobody's going to be able to figure out how to do this stuff or set it up. So, okay, here's the thing. Same stuff works, press the button in Empower, boom, got all that. Now let's go. So I kept diving. I kept digging. I kept waiting for him to say, no, okay, there has to be something. And he kept saying no.
What's the
I
secret,
just
Kris?
went through 15K, da-da-da-da. But here's the other thing you said to me, correct me if I'm wrong. I try stuff that most of my stuff doesn't work. I just started throwing stuff. Just to throw stuff, and something finally stuck. Not much, but a little bit. And then you just said, okay, that's working a little. That's better than nothing.
Stuff.
And then just kept, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of you get it. And a lot of people said, I felt there should be more information about exactly how you do this. So I thought we ought to take 5 minutes, because I figured out in 5 minutes last night exactly how to do this. Read the stuff. Press the button, watch the video, take a note, and then do it. Oh, wow, that was amazing. Now, that's the second part. But here was the other thing that was really cool. Here's what I also asked him. I said, now listen, we saw Tracy, and I told him we did this. I said, we saw Tracy yesterday, and she is a stud muffin. Is she an incredible woman or what? And I said, well, are you doing now what Tracy's doing? Because you're growing this team, so you have that like mean thing that's, she probably knocks them out like she came from Madison Avenue. So do you have this mean team thing, and you do all these calls, and it's all this stuff, and your team's just all dialed in with these systems? And he goes, no, I kind of hacked something together. It's not really good, but a little bit, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really work too well.
But she's been online for 4 years, so I said, well, you figured 4 years will be as good as she will.
Yeah.
And so then I asked the killer question. I said, now, you have some big months and come out, but right now, consistently, about where is your income?
About 10 grand.
About 8, 9, 10,000 a month. I said, so okay, you didn't do it 2 or 3 months, but in 7 months, you're there, and the only thing you've done is exactly what is taught in the information if you're all in Empower.
Yes. Yeah, it's all true.
And here's what I said, the reason I said I give it just 2 minutes. I said, and I'm sure there are others here, by the way, who are en route to that. I said, because what I've been looking for since I've been here is the alpha. And the alpha omega, the beginning, I was just looking for the alpha. The example that says, you don't need to know anything, and you don't have to have anything, just go in and then do it, and you'll suck at first, because everybody sucks until they suck a little less. And that's the way it works, until one day you've done it enough, you actually are pretty good.
I still make money.
And here's why, because when you stand time, when you're wrapping up this last thought, and we talked about this. I had a mentor years ago who said, let me give you an example. Okay, I've got a business I want to show you. Here's the business, it's the business of this, whatever this is. 97 people out of 100 who tried this business fall on their ass, lose all their money, and fail miserably. 3 out of 100 make it work stunningly well. I mean, but with those odds, is that something you'd be interested in doing, yes or no? And be careful, don't answer yet. Because most people say no. He told me, he said, you're asked the wrong question. In fact, you shouldn't even be answering the question. He said, Curtis, before you give an answer, I just told you that the business undeniably, unequivocally, without a doubt, works and works well. The difference is, you should have said before I answer the question is, let me go talk to the 3 people first.
Right.
Because I need to find out what they did, how hard they worked, the sacrifices they made, the effort they put in, because I need to know if I'm willing to do what they did. Because if I'm not, then it's not a business for you. But if I say, I'm willing to make that effort, make that sacrifice, go through that pain, go through that struggle, crawl through the glass, and I'm willing to do that, then it is a business you should do because it has been proven that it will work and it's undeniable. And so for those who say there's not enough education about exactly what to do, yeah, there is. Go all in, press button 1, and drive through it because it's been proven and it works. Congratulations.